Okay, we're taking what appears to be the only access road, kind of bumpy. As you can see, there are some people camped off to the left. That'd be at the west end of the lake. They appear to be some dirt bikers just out having some fun. This is primarily used by dirt bikers. It's there are a lot of roads out here, a lot of terrain. Makes a pretty good track for them, and quite prevalent out here. So they're the primary users of this area. Now, there are two structures here. We found you can see them on Google Earth. There's one right over here, just off the right, and if you take a look at this area on Google Earth, you'll see the second one there. Now that it's at the center of the picture. These look like they were private residences. There's no clue as to who or what lived here. There is a slight chance that one of these houses could have been where Pancho Barnes lived, because she did live in the area. She did live in a somewhat isolated part of the area near Garlock, but to be honest, I don't really know where she did live. It's just that it's a possibility this could have been where she lived. Don't take that as the truth, however. Now we're proceeding closer to the lake bed itself, and I'm going to show you some things here, let you know really why I would tend to have my doubts that this had been a landing field. First of all, as soon as we get away from these dirt bikers, I don't want them to think I'm spying on them, but I want to get a shot of the hills. We are at what would likely, we're at the, if you look off to the right out the window there, you're looking down what does have does look like a runway. But as we pan back to the left, if you look at what would be west from the west end of the runway, there's quite an obstruction. I'm not talking about that mountain in the background, but I'm talking about the ridge in the foreground, which by my guesstimation in just a few hundred yards out is 50, maybe 75 feet high, and it's rather close into to what would have been the approach end of this runway, and that would afford precious little terrain clearance when you're on final approach, if you're going to land at a place like this. Another thing that I noticed that causes me to have some doubts, that unless this field was paved or very, very intently maintained, it would have been unusable during much of the year, during the rainy season. For example, I don't know if the light is good enough, but you can see there's some ruts, very deep ruts. That's about 6 inches deep. A vehicle passed over this area during the rainy season, and as we move a little farther on in front of us, you can see even deeper ruts. And taking a look at these, it looks like somebody tried to drive a pretty heavy truck across here. But if you can probably see these ruts here. Again, we're staying inside the truck here because there's a lot of dust out there with these dirt bikers around, and we don't want to get this my gear all dusty. But look at these ruts. Now, you know, this is being done in mid-March, and we've had about 2 weeks of dry weather, and then prior to that, quite a bit of wet weather. And if a truck would make these ruts, an aircraft would do the same thing. So that would render this field as it is unusable for most of the rainy season, and during the summer, anytime there would be a thunderstorm, which they do get out here. So that would mean that this field would have to be, this runway would have to be maintained after every storm event. It would have to be paved. And for a place that that is here supposedly as a secret, the activity required to keep this place usable would probably negate any secrecy involved. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drive down here to what looks like a spot. When you look at the Google Earth shot of this, you can see two spots about mid-field. If this is in fact a runway, then I would call it mid-field. And as we we get closer, I'm going as fast as I can, but it's really bumpy road. And as you can see again right here, look, just on the left there with the flagging is rain damage, and it's probably from this rainy season. It's probably quite new, probably within the last month or two. But look straight ahead, you can see the dirt track and the grass and the green area. I don't know if it shows, but this is a depression that's 3 to 5 feet deep, I would guesstimate. And if you went over this at any kind of aircraft speed, 50, 60, 80, whatever knots, 100 knots, I don't think that your landing gear can take this. This is quite a swale, a rut. It appears to be an area of settlement or something. Does not appear to be, there's no evidence of a wash or stream flowing through here. And again, you can see how rough, very rough this is. Now granted, as I said, in wartime, had it been used for aircraft, it would have been maintained quite well. But as you can see, here is another depression. Again, this one 2 to 3 feet deep by eye. And granted, this settlement, we're talking 60 plus years have elapsed since this would have been used as a wartime field. But this settlement is here for a reason. Either there's a spring or it's a low point where water tends to accumulate, and there's no reason to assume that this settlement wasn't there always and wasn't there 60 years ago. Now, the final thing that I want to point out is before I started shooting, I measured this with my odometer, and it is 0.6 of a mile long, which comes out to, if my back of the envelope math is correct, 3,168 feet. And given the minimal terrain clearance at both ends of the runway, let me show you the east end. As you can see, this is a wide-angle lens, so it's going to make the background there appear smaller than what it is, but that is quite a tremendous ridge, several hundred feet high, probably within a half a mile of the east end of the runway. And so it's my guess, my presumption, that there would have been no takeoffs to the east. All takeoffs would have been to the west, and even if that were the case, to the west, as I pointed out earlier, there is that 50 to 75 foot ridge, which you can see in the distance. I wish I had a telephoto lens so I could show you what it looks like. So for those reasons, I think that this probably, I can't say for sure, and I'm not saying it wasn't, but probably was not used as any kind of a runway landing field or otherwise a hiding place for aircraft. I'm thinking more that this thing that looks like a runway from the aerial shots was created over the years by the dirt bikers. There have been several of them go back and forth here while I've been here. It's a perfect track for dirt bikers. It's less so and less perfect for aircraft. So if somebody has any more information on this, please, by all means, feel free to contact me by email. There's a link on the page if you're watching this on YouTube. Please feel free to contact me. But right now, I gotta say that I can't really say what this was. So it remains a total mystery. But anyway, it's one more thing out here in the Mojave. One more thing to take a look at. We've been here, and now it's time to head on down the road and see what else we can find.